Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's Senior Mash talking rugby union. And this weekend, big thanks to TNT Sports for providing my rugby. If you like what you're hearing, dive over to Substack, subscribe. I'd love you to be on my journey. So when I talk rugby union, I use various sources. But when I'm writing, and I've been writing about my local village football team recently, I use Substack. Substack is a great vehicle. It allows me to do podcasts. It allows me to write essays, to do photo essays. I'd really love it if you could give me a follow. So what rugby have I been taking a look at this week? Well, I've been looking at all sorts of rugby this week via my TV. And this is my 17th week of doing this. So hopefully I'm getting a little bit better. But as I say, if you like what you're seeing, give us a call. And the Rugby World Cup's coming up. But in the meantime, let's shout out for the Bath performance this weekend. Bath Rugby were simply superb. Very, very good. And can't speak highly enough of them. That I watched on TV. I also managed to watch Exeter Gloucester. I caught a little bit of Harlequins and Leicester in the Ladies Premiership. And on social media, constantly following social media, enjoying what I'm seeing, trying to share snippets with you and just give you a slightly different lens on rugby. Schumann. Yes, they were all at home for Christmas, and it's great to see Bath and Edinburgh celebrating Christmas with their fans. And it's so important that we use this time of year to get people down to watch local rugby at their clubs. And he is one of the best clubs at doing that. That's Filed. I was at their game against Preston Grasshoppers. You'll have seen that on my previous work. But a big shout out, as I said on the last pod, Jordan Dorrington scoring tries. It's a privilege, to be able to work on a photo essay for Substack that centres on my village of Rufford here in Lancashire. But I can then turn over, look the other way, and what am I seeing? High-scoring rugby on TV, tries galore. But if you not pick your try machine, what happens? Well, we get a new try machine, Schumann. Yes, Johnny Matthews was not playing for Glasgow against Edinburgh. So it was a very low-scoring game, and Glasgow lost. But we've got a new try machine. Results? Well, plenty of them. Majority high scoring, but let's take a look at the ones that the folk at TRU picked for me. Exeter Gloucester. Wow, Exeter managed to secure a win. How relieved would they have been? Doncaster in the championship, looking positive at the end of 2024. Let's see if they can carry it on into 2025. The Bath result against Saracens. Harlequins and Leicester fighting out a draw. And as I mentioned earlier, where was the try machine for Glasgow? 2015, well, we were sponsoring Red Panda Sevens, and this was one of the shirts that really caught everybody's attention in combination with a fantastic charity, Tom's Trust. And here's one I chose of Juan Kraus, Michael Vaughan and my son Max out and about representing Sedgley Park Tigers. And another favourite from 2015 was a Guinness World Record for the Scoffich brothers playing for their country of origin. Here they are posing very, very solidly. And I want to shout out again for Doncaster. What a great club. Love the clubhouse, love the facilities. Let's see them in the Premiership. And 2015 saw lots of sevens, whether it was Bournemouth or Kinsale. And at the end of a game, it always seemed to finish with a few drinks. Enjoy. Sevens is a great sport, and Talking Rugby Union put a lot of effort into sevens in 2015. Red Panda, Man Met, 007s, and they actually had their own line in sports gear under the Red Panda brand. Very exciting times. And the Scottish Sevens was really important to me, as I've mentioned to you before, held at Tarleton, and there's one of my favourite shots of Jeff Gordon in the bar and Ben Loosemore playing at Worthing. Made it down to Twickenham, and sure enough, Twickenham was in full flow. Pyrotechnics, we saw some of those this weekend. And then there's a few other images. Floods in the north of England, and you had to canoe across that pitch. Teams arriving at Twickenham. But back to the sevens, something that I enjoyed, and big shout out for all the sevens teams that have allowed me to take photographs of them over the years. I'm sure you'll spot some people you know on these photographs. And at Sedgley Park, well, there was my son Max's try. I've shown it twice because it's one of the only ones I ever saw him score. And there's Mike Haley and Josh Beaumont putting together a photo shoot for Red Panda. But Sedge in 2015, very important to me and to my son Max. Thoroughly enjoyed watching the games, but also meeting people like Matt Riley, Ben Black, Glenn Hutton, Dave Brearley. Say It in Seven was something that a good friend of mine, Tim Baines, put together, and hopefully I'm going to do some podcasts with Tim later in 2025. And Josh Beaumont scoring a try at Twickenham with an England shirt on, even though he didn't get a cap for it. Rugby World Cup was in England, and I got the chance to go to a number of games. The Argentinian supporters were always good, as were those from Tonga. And, you know, it's a privilege to go and watch rugby, live rugby. But, you know, what a surprise you get walking down the street in Durham to meet Richie McCaw and Dan Carter. Great photo. And again, those Argentinian supporters who really were up for following their team. One game that I really enjoyed was Italy and Canada. Enjoyed it for so many reasons. It was just a great atmosphere. Both teams wanted to play rugby. There were no inhibitions. It was fabulous, fabulous rugby. And, you know, one of the things that we were able to do was to see university rugby being helped by Talking Rugby Union and Red Panda. And this is the Bath Spa women's team. And good luck to their efforts. And we did some archive work with Talking Rugby Union. This was the North versus the Midlands. And we picked out some names and did follow-up stories with them. And a young journalist at the time, Alex Shaw, put together some very, very good work that you can see on Talking Rugby Union. And, you know, Talking Rugby Union is one of the ways that you can help rugby union here in England. Give them a like, subscribe, follow, give them the thumbs up. And please, if you like what I'm doing on Substack, just give me a subscribe. I'd really, really appreciate it. National League Rugby starts to come back in the new year, so hopefully you're going to do more about National League Rugby, and hoping that Chris Heel will allow me to do a behind the scenes of the National League Rugby Review show. But in the meantime, hope you've had a great 2024 and see you all in 2025. Thanks now.